Good evening. It's MJ from Linus Publications. I'd like to spend just a few minutes on Putin and Zelenskyy and do an update on that situation. As noted, they were supposed to, well, Putin said he wanted to negotiate. And of course, we probably realize that's not true. But Zelenskyy did go to the peace talks. Trump is sort of ignoring all that and, trying not to have anything to do with it. So let's take a look at where this sort of is laying at this point. I have Putin's chart up here. So let's take a look. First, there are no Pluto angles or tight angles occurring yet. So the next thing we have is a Uranus angle occurring. And Uranus is actually making an angle, or did make an angle, to Mars. That angle was a break and adjust, which is not friendly. And it usually causes things to, in effect, erupt in a different fashion. This angle already occurred. So, in effect, what's happened is that Putin was relying on Trump coming in and, in effect, giving him Ukraine. Trump has sort of gotten away from this whole situation. And because of that, Putin's plans have literally dissolved. So that's, in effect, a break from where, he expected this to go. The next thing we have happening is we have Saturn here also making a square to Mars. Now that is a stress angle, and that is a configuration that already occurred. So in effect, this is showing that there was a lot of frustration, unable to do things. He wasn't getting his way. And he wasn't getting his way, so what? He became more explosive. He was putting more explosives towards Ukraine to try and force the situation. What else do we have going on? We have Jupiter up here. Jupiter has made angles, and again, this is the past tense, to both Neptune and Mercury together. Neptune and Mercury in his natal chart conjunct, which means this person he perceives his reality in a different sense than everyone else does. Jupiter is actually making a good angle here, which means that, in effect, it was making him think that he could get more from the situation, because Jupiter expands, and the Neptune-Mercury conjunction is sort of an unrealistic look. So that's what happened. It was sort of unrealistic. Now, is there anything else major coming up? Not yet. We'll probably take a look in another 2 months for him. So in effect, it seems like he's sort of run out of steam here. Let's take a look at Zylenskyy. Zylenskyy, let's take a look. We've got Neptune here making an inconjunct, trine, to Mars. Now, that has passed. Neptune, again, illusionary reality, but it's a good angle. And it's to Mars, which is action. So this is, in effect, him sort of just believing that he can come out of this with his country. So there's just a fierce belief that he is right here and that he's going to prevail over this. I'm not saying he's right, but this is what he has inside of him. We also have Saturn here, that Uranus, which is going to be making a square angle to Saturn. Now that's going to be happening in June. Now Uranus here, explosive, wants freedom. Saturn, planet of restrictions. Yeah, he may throw aside a lot of the things that people are forcing him to do. So I would expect that if he has meetings with Trump, they're probably not going to go well. Now, this could also indicate that, as I had said before, his best path is probably dealing with Europe. This could indicate that he does sort of back away from the States and heads more towards Europe. Now, the next thing we have here is we have Saturn up here, in effect, making a break and adjust to Saturn here. Now, this, in effect, has already passed. So this is, in effect, him breaking free of those restrictions. Remember, Trump didn't like him. What did he manage to do? he managed to get the EU behind him. Now, he broke away from those restrictions, and that was difficult because that breakaway is literally you have to break and adjust your path. So he was hoping that Trump would stand up for him. Didn't happen. So in effect, Europe had to come along and say they were going to be backing him up. And then finally, Trump sort of came along for the ride. Now, what else do we have happening? We have Jupiter that's actually going to be making a conjunct to Jupiter. Conjunct is good depending on what planets are involved. Some like each other, some don't. Jupiter likes being with Jupiter. Sometimes too much. So you can get too many good things happening or too many opportunities that you can't take advantage of. This is happening the end of May. So good time to watch to see what opportunities show up for him and where he goes. The big one, which I haven't talked about, is Pluto. Pluto has backed away from making a conjunction on his sun. Pluto, planet of power, manipulation, and it can go either way. On his sun, meaning his spirit, his identity. So this could be good or bad. Could be good in that he comes and he prevails over everything. Could be bad that he ends up in a situation where he is powerless. Considering everything else that's going on, I'm sort of favoring the fact that he's going to be in a position of power. Now, this is not going to actually come back to touch on his sun again until March of 2026. So we've got a ways before all this comes to some type of conclusion. But this is somewhat favorable for Zylenskyy. Versus with Putin, I can see the strength sort of dribbling away from him. He doesn't have Trump in his corner, at least not right now. And it doesn't seem like anyone else is really coming to back him up. China has just said that they really want to see peace come about. And Putin, however much he speaks of this, he is not coming to the table. I hope you enjoyed this. And again, if you want to take a list of the services I offer to individual people, you can take a look at my website, lionesspublications.com. Otherwise, have a great evening. Bye now.